Welcome to the Path of Truth, where we embark on a journey to explore the deeper truths that shape our existence. In this video, we delve into the concept of happiness, the illusions that surround it, and the path to discovering true inner. I invite you to join me in this exploration, and if what we discuss resonates with you, please take a moment to comment 99 in the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Your participation is essential as we dive into these profound insights together. There is a profound truth found in the ancient scriptures, one that echoes the very essence of what we are exploring here, that the kingdom of God is within you. This is not merely a poetic metaphor, but a deep, existential reality. In the stillness of your heart, in the silence behind your thoughts, you find the presence of something far greater than the mind can comprehend. Just as the Bible speaks of the divine light that shines within all creation, so too does your inner being carry that same light, a light that is pure, untainted by the worldly distractions and illusions of the mind. It is easy to get lost in the noise of life, chasing after the fleeting things of the world, believing that peace, fulfillment, or salvation lies somewhere out there. But the message is clear. True peace comes not from external circumstances, but from an inner realization. Be still and know that I am God. In this stillness, in the absence of striving and seeking, you come to recognize the divine nature that resides within you. This recognition is not found through intellectual understanding, but through the simple act of being present and embracing the silence that lies beyond the noise of the mind. Imagine, for a moment, a vast river, an endless flow of thoughts, powerful currents that carry every individual on this planet. These thoughts move us, often beyond our control, and we find ourselves swept along with them. We begin to hold on to these thoughts, letting them define who we are, shape our reality, and decide how we respond to life. But within this relentless current, there lies a rare gem of a thought. I want to be free. This thought, my friends, is precious, as rare as a diamond, for out of nearly 8 billion people on this earth, only a handful of individuals will ever experience this desire to break free from the cycle of external influence. I call this precious gem freedom. Freedom is the courage to swim against the current, to swim towards the source, to find joy in life's simple offerings, and ultimately to embrace happiness. When you are free to be happy, that happiness radiates outward, affecting the world around you, touching the hearts of others. In the same way, when you suffer, the world suffers with you. And thus, your responsibility is clear: to remain happy, to radiate peace, to shine light, wisdom, and awareness. In this process of discovering true, lasting joy, we must look inward, for happiness will never be found in external things. The world often convinces us that happiness is a thing to be acquired, a prize to be won through achievement, material possessions, or relationships. But when we search for happiness in the external world, we are seeking something that is fleeting, temporary, and ever-changing. It is like a treasure hunter in pursuit of a conquest that will inevitably slip through their fingers. External objects, people, and circumstances, while they may bring us joy in the moment, are not permanent. They come and go, and because they are not lasting, they cannot be the foundation of our happiness. True happiness, my friends, is not conditional. It does not depend on the changing tides of life. It is an intrinsic quality of our being. It is not something to be gained, but something to be rediscovered within ourselves. Happiness is not a destination we must reach. It is an internal state of being. It is not the reward for our efforts, but the natural right of our existence. Happiness is within us all, waiting to be acknowledged, nurtured, and But how do we reconnect with this true source of happiness? The first step is to seek inner peace. Inner peace is not a one-size-fits-all concept. There is no universal process that guarantees tranquility for everyone, no set of rules or steps that everyone must follow. Peace resides within each of us as a deep reservoir, an endless well that is always available. Our task is simply to tap into it, to uncover it beneath the noise of our daily lives. When we find this inner peace, it will spread like a ray of light, illuminating everything around us. The joy and serenity we cultivate within ourselves will reflect outward, affecting everyone. However, this journey towards inner peace is not easy. Many people remain bound by the chains of external desires, convinced that happiness is something to be gained through material means. This is not a unique struggle, but one that unites us all. Yet, if you find that some of these external desires bring you peace and joy, then it is okay to embrace them. Maybe it's not yet the time to release them. But if you feel that these desires are poisonous, like venomous snakes that bite and poison your soul, then it is time to let them go. The key to liberation is to stop attaching your happiness to external circumstances. When we create expectations based on external conditions, we deceive ourselves. We weave a web of desires and expectations, each thread fragile and easily unraveled when the winds of change blow. We set ourselves up for disappointment, for when our happiness depends on something that can change at any moment. Whether it be a person, a relationship, a material possession, then our happiness is equally unstable. True happiness, however, is like a constant flame, undisturbed by the external world. It is the divine spark within us all, waiting to be recognized. The process of rediscovering this happiness requires courage. The courage to look beyond the illusions created by the ego and to confront the reality that conditional happiness is fleeting, much like the clouds that drift across the sky. So how do we free ourselves from this illusion of happiness? We must first recognize that true, lasting happiness does not depend on external conditions. It is already within us, accessible at any moment, regardless of what is happening around us. Happiness is not something that we need to acquire or achieve. It is something that we need to rediscover, to uncover beneath layers of ego and illusion. It is not an external goal, but an internal state of being. It is not the result of effort or striving, but a natural state that is inherent in all of us. To rediscover it, we must first seek inner peace. Inner peace has no single definition. It is a deeply personal experience that differs for each individual. There is no specific method or set of instructions to follow. Each person must find their own path to this profound serenity, and once you find it, it will become the guiding force in your life. When you tap into this inner peace, it will begin to radiate from you, touching everything and everyone in your life. The more you embrace this peace, the more it will. And as this peace grows within you, you will begin to recognize it in the world around you, seeing the same quiet serenity in others, in nature, and in life itself. But the mind, often restless and filled with doubt, will attempt to deceive you. It may cast doubts and fears, causing you to forget the peace that is always present. The mind resists silence, often like a restless child, seeking constant stimulation and distraction. But it is in this silence that true consciousness resides. It is in this stillness that the mind can be tamed, not through effort, but through surrender. When thoughts are not dominating you, when the mind is quiet, you don't need to do anything. Silence itself is enough. The task is not to stop thinking, because thoughts will come and go like clouds drifting across the sky, but to remain in stillness. Let the thoughts pass by without attachment. Stay centered in the silence. It is in this silence that you will reconnect with your true self, with the happiness that has always been within you, waiting to be discovered. Stay tuned for the next part, where we will continue to explore how to embrace this profound peace and unlock the true potential of our being. In your search for peace and fulfillment, it's essential to realize something profoundly transformative. You have always been the truth. You have always been. The truth is not hidden or locked away in some distant place. It is not something you need to search for, nor something you need to earn or acquire. It has always been within you, waiting to be uncovered. Secret to discovering it is simple. Stop searching. In the stillness of stopping, you will realize that all the answers you have been looking for have been with you the entire time. This revelation might sound too simple to be true, but that is the beauty of it. You are not separate from what you seek. You are the very essence of the peace, the love, the truth that you have been striving for in your life. The mind, with all its noisy chatter, its endless stream of thoughts, constantly tries to convince you otherwise. It tells you that peace is somewhere out there beyond your grasp. It whispers that happiness is conditional on something external: success, approval, possessions, or relationships. What if peace isn't a destination or a goal at all? What if peace is your natural state of being, always available and always present? When you truly stop trying to control, to search, to chase after fleeting things, you will be here. Now, you will realize that you have never been absent from this moment. The body, the thoughts, the memories, all these things are not who you are. They are merely experiences you are having in this moment. Do you own them, or do they own you? Who is it that holds the mind and the body? Who is the witness of all of this? When you ask yourself these questions, you begin to peel away the layers of identity that the mind has created for you. These identities, these labels we cling to, I am this or I am that, are merely thoughts. They're not the truth of who you are. You are not your thoughts, you are not your past, so why let your life be dictated by memories of what has already passed? The past is a labyrinth created by the mind, a cemetery of memories that no longer serve you. Yet so often we find ourselves stuck there, lost in what has already been. But I tell you this, if you want to experience freedom, do not look to the past. Let go of its grasp. Instead, focus your attention inward, where true freedom resides. Freedom is not found by running away from something. It is found by stopping, by being still, and by turning your attention to your true self. The freedom you seek is not outside of you. It is within you right now, waiting to be wrecked. The very act of stopping is liberating. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to understand anything. Just stop and observe. In that moment of stillness, you will feel the truth of your being, silent, constant, and it is from this place of stillness that the mind can begin to quiet, and you will see the world for what it truly is. Not a place of separation, but a manifestation of the oneness of all things. So ask yourself, who are you? Who is the one that seeks, that desires, that suffers? In the vastness of your being, beyond the thoughts, beyond the identity the mind creates, you are not separate from anything. You are not separate from the person beside you, from the trees, from the sky. We are all expressions of the same source, the same being. The only difference between you and anyone else is the words and concepts that the mind attaches to the experience of being. But the essence of who you are is the same as the essence of all things. Love, compassion, peace. These are the true nature of your being, and they are not bound by time, space, or circumstance. When you laugh, when you feel joy, are you thinking? In those moments, the mind is silent. There is no judgment, no suffering, just joy. So what if you could live like that all the time? What if you could approach every situation, every moment with that same laughter, that same lightness? The key is not to get trapped in the mind, not to get trapped in the past or in the future. The key is to be present, just be. When you are present, you realize that all of life is a dance, a cosmic flow that does not require your interference. But to truly experience this, you must learn to be mindful, to pay attention to the thoughts and desires that arise, and to recognize them for what they are. They are just thoughts. They are not you, and they do not have the power to define you unless you give them that power. By practicing awareness, by remaining present, you begin to loosen the grip of conditioned thought patterns. With every thought you release, you come closer to the truth of your being. You come closer to the freedom that has always been within you. The mind, with its constant chatter, tries to keep you trapped in the cycle of time. It tells you that you need more, that you need to do something to achieve happiness or peace. But the truth is, there is no time where there is no mind. Time is a construct of the mind, and without the mind, there is only the eternal now. So, when you stop thinking, when you stop grasping at the future, you will realize that you are already free. You are already whole. You are already at peace. Let me invite you to take just one moment, 1 second, without thinking. Do nothing, just stop, and see what happens. In that moment of stopping, you will realize that all the striving, all the searching was unnecessary. You have always had what you sought. You have always been what you sought. It was never somewhere out there. It was always within you. Living in truth means living in the simplicity of the present moment. When you are truly present, desires lose their grip on you. You will no longer be bound by the need to have, to achieve, to be. The only thing that is needed is this moment, this breath, this awareness. And in that simplicity, you will find the greatest peace, the greatest joy. So take a moment now to reflect. Where have you been looking for happiness? Have you been looking for it in the past, in the future, in things or people? Have you tied your happiness to external conditions? If so, remember that the source of your happiness has never been external. It has always been inside you, waiting to be rediscovered. The world is an illusion, and all that you need to know is that you are the foundation beneath it all. You are the source of all things. And when you remember that, you will see that everything in this life is an expression of your own being. As we come to the end of this video, I ask you to pause and reflect on your own journey. Ask yourself where you have been seeking happiness, and if that search has truly brought you the peace you seek. If you feel moved by the message shared here, if you resonate with what you've heard, I invite you to take the next step in your journey by leaving a comment below with 99 and by subscribing to the Path of Truth channel. Share this video with others so that they too can experience this message of self-discovery and peace. Let us all walk this path together in love, in truth, and in freedom. In the journey toward truth, peace, and self-realization, it's essential to recognize that this path is far from being straightforward or predictable. Often we tend to think of the pursuit of these qualities as if they are something external to us, something we need to acquire or reach by completing a series of steps. There is a common belief that peace or truth is something to be found at a particular destination, or that it can be unlocked like a secret hidden somewhere in the vastness of the world or our experiences. However, this way of thinking is itself a misconception. The profound reality is that the truth we are seeking is not somewhere out there, but rather already within us, waiting to be recognized and embraced. To experience this truth, though, requires a deep and often challenging shift in perspective. It demands that we let go of the attachments we have to our thoughts and the labels we assign to ourselves. Our minds are constantly busy, always seeking something, always running after ideas, experiences, or identities. We get caught in this endless cycle of thought, chasing after a sense of fulfillment or understanding that seems to lie just beyond our reach. We attach ourselves to the idea of who we think we are or who we believe we should be. These self-concepts, shaped by past experiences, external influences, and societal expectations, become so ingrained in our being that we come to identify with them as if they define us. But in reality, these are mere constructs, fleeting and changeable, and they have nothing to do with the essence of who we truly are. The irony here is that the more we cling to these identities and the thoughts that accompany them, the further we move away from the truth of our own being. These illusions of self, born from the mind's constant search for meaning and validation, create a false sense of separation from the very peace and truth we long for. They keep us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction, as we believe that we need to become something different, something more, in order to experience the fullness of life. But the key to unlocking this truth is not in becoming something more, but in letting go of the need to be anything other than what we already are. The truth lies not in seeking or striving, but in surrendering, in stopping the constant mental chatter. Only then can we begin to recognize the innate peace, wisdom, and love that have always been within us. Deep within the very core of your being, there exists a quiet, profound stillness, an eternal peace that remains untouched by the turbulence of your thoughts. This peace is not something fleeting or temporary, nor is it subject to. It is a constant, unshakable presence that transcends the noise of the mind and the chaos of the external world. Yet, for many, this peace feels distant, as though it's something they must work hard to find or acquire. The truth is, this peace is not hidden or far away. It is already there within you, just waiting to be recognized and embraced. However, in order to connect with this peace, you must learn the delicate art of letting go. It is not a matter of searching or seeking, but rather a process of releasing the things that bind you to a false sense of self, to limiting beliefs, to attachments that keep you stuck in patterns of fear and insecurity. Much of the suffering we experience comes from these attachments. The need to define ourselves by our achievements, our possessions, our relationships, or even our past experiences. These external markers often shape our sense of worth and identity, but they are not the essence of who we are. They are transient, fleeting, and ever-changing. To truly experience the peace that lies deep within, you must let go of these attachments and the judgments that sustain them. You must release the idea that your value is tied to anything outside of yourself. This includes the need for external validation, the craving for approval from others, and the fear of being seen as insufficient or incomplete. We often seek validation in the form of praise, recognition, or acceptance from the world around. Yet in doing so, we place our sense of worth in something that is outside of our control, constantly subject to the whims of others. The truth is that validation from the outside world is fleeting. It can be given or taken away in an instant. When you stop seeking approval from others, when you cease your constant striving for external recognition, you open yourself to the realization that you are already whole, just as you are. In that moment of letting go, you begin to reconnect with the deeper truth of your being. You no longer need to prove your worth to the world because you know with absolute certainty that you are already enough. You are not defined by what you do or by the opinions of others, but by the inherent worth that comes from simply being. This understanding brings with it a deep sense of peace, a quiet knowing that you are exactly as you should be. It is only when you stop seeking outwardly and start looking inwardly that you can truly experience the completeness that already exists within you. When you let go of everything you thought you were, you make space for the deeper truth of who you truly are to emerge. This truth is not something that can be fully grasped or understood through the workings of the mind. In fact, the more you attempt to intellectually comprehend it, the more distant and elusive it becomes. The mind, with its constant flow of thoughts, is an incredibly powerful tool. It allows you to process information, solve problems, and navigate the world. However, it is not the right tool to access your true nature. The truth of who you are lies beyond the realm of thought, beyond language, beyond the very limitations that the mind imposes. It exists in a space that cannot be captured by analysis, reason, or understanding. When you attempt to approach truth through intellectual efforts, you may find yourself only digging deeper into the very layers of illusion that obscure it. The mind thrives on concepts, categorizing experiences and making sense of the world through labels, definitions, and comparisons. But your true essence cannot be reduced to any concept, nor can it be understood through mental constructs. Truth is not something you can find by dissecting, analyzing, or trying to rationalize. The more you engage with your thoughts, the further you get from the experience of the truth that is always. The key to discovering your true nature lies not in thinking about it, but in surrendering the need to think altogether. It is in the stillness, in the space between thoughts, that the truth can reveal itself. It is in these moments of silence and quiet observation that you come face to face with the reality of who you truly are. This silence is not just an absence of noise, but a profound inner stillness that allows you to simply be without the need to label, analyze, or interpret. It is in these moments of silence, free from the constant chatter of the mind, that the essence of your being becomes clear. The more you practice silence and observation, the more you can begin to peel away the layers of conditioning and false identities that have kept you trapped in a cycle of seeking and striving. These layers, formed by your thoughts, your beliefs, your judgments, create an illusion of separateness and keep you bound to a limited version of yourself. As you learn to quiet the mind and step back from the constant flow of thoughts, you begin to see through these layers. You'll start to realize that the identities you have been clinging to are not the truth of who you are. Instead, they are simply mental constructs, temporary and ever-changing, that do not represent the essence of your being. In silence, you stop identifying with the mind's constant stream of thoughts. You stop identifying with the labels and judgments that have defined you for so long, and in doing so, you create space for something much deeper to emerge. The realization that you are not the thoughts in your head, but the observer of those thoughts. You are not the roles you play or the labels you wear, but the pure consciousness that is aware of all things. This realization doesn't come from thinking, but from simply being present and observing without attachment or judgment. It is a process of allowing the truth to unfold naturally without forcing or striving. As you continue to practice silence, your connection with your true self grows stronger. The more you release the need to think, the more you come into alignment with the truth of your being. And in that alignment, there is peace. A peace that is not dependent on external circumstances, but a peace that arises from within. It is a peace that transcends the fluctuations of the mind and the world around you. It is the peace of simply being. As you reflect on these words, I invite you to take a moment to reconnect with the stillness within, to realize that the truth you are seeking is not separate from you, but already present within your own being. The more you practice silence and observation, the more you will uncover the layers that have kept you separated from your true self. This journey is not about striving or doing, but about being present, being aware, and being at peace. If this message resonates with you, I encourage you to share your thoughts and reflections by commenting 99 below. Your insights are invaluable, and they help to deepen the collective understanding of this path. Don't forget to subscribe to the Path of Truth channel, where we continue to explore these timeless truths together. A conditioned mind, with its incessant stream of thoughts, judgments, and evaluations, traps you in a cycle of distraction that keeps you from experiencing life as it truly is. It constantly pulls your attention away from the present moment, as if trying to lure you into a place that isn't real. The past or the future, the past with all its memories, often stirs up old emotions that may no longer serve you, but continue to affect how you view yourself and the world around you. These memories, though faded, are like shadows that color your perceptions, causing you to relive old pain or regrets. Then there's the future, a place that doesn't yet exist, filled with fears and uncertainties. The mind constantly projects into this future, worrying about what might happen, about things that are yet to unfold. But the truth is that the past is already gone, and the future is not yet here. They are nothing more than mental constructs, illusions created by the mind to keep you trapped in a state of perpetual distraction. The present moment, however, is the only true reality. It is the only time in which life is actually happening. When you are fully present, you experience life in its purest form, free from the filters of past conditioning and future anxieties. To truly live in the present, you must begin to release your attachment to the stories the mind keeps telling you. Stories about who you are, what you should do, and how things should be. These mental stories and desires are like chains that keep you locked in a state of perpetual seeking. Seeking approval, seeking success, seeking happiness, seeking fulfillment. These desires, while seemingly innocent, are all rooted in the illusion that you are incomplete and need something external to be whole. But the reality is that the present moment is enough. It is here that peace resides, untouched by the fluctuations of thought. The present is where your true self is found, independent of the mind's endless chatter. When you stop identifying with the thoughts that arise, when you stop getting lost in the mental patterns that keep you stuck, you begin to realize that the fullness of your being exists beyond these distractions. In the present moment, you are complete, whole, and at peace. All you need to do is simply be here, fully aware and accepting of what is, without clinging to the past or worrying about the future. It is in this state of presence that you will find the peace you've been seeking all along. The beauty of this realization lies in its simplicity and its power. In the constant pursuit of happiness, success, and external validation, we often forget that peace is not something that can be acquired, achieved, or found through external means. It is not a distant goal that requires effort, sacrifice, or transformation. Peace in its truest form is already within you, waiting to be recognized. It is not something you need to chase after, nor is it something you need to work hard to attain. You do not need to change who you are or become someone else in order to experience the serenity that you seek. The idea that peace can only be found in certain conditions, once you have a perfect job, a perfect relationship, or the ideal circumstances, is a misconception that keeps us trapped in the cycle of longing. True peace is not conditional upon any of these things. It does not depend on the perfect environment, the approval of others, or even the fulfillment of your desires. Peace exists independently of external circumstances because it is not an object or a destination. It is a state of being. It is the essence of who you truly are, beneath the layers of conditioned thoughts, beliefs, and judgments that you identify with. All that is required to experience peace is to stop and recognize it. This recognition comes when you release the need to constantly seek, to constantly strive for something outside of yourself. The mind, in its endless search for meaning, keeps you in a state of constant motion, always looking for something that will make you feel fulfilled or complete. Yet, this constant seeking is precisely what keeps you from realizing the peace that is already within you. It is in the stillness, in the silence between thoughts, where true peace resides. When you stop, when you cease the endless mental chatter and simply allow yourself to be, you reconnect with your true nature. This is the moment when the mind's hold on you loosens and you come face to face with the peace, love, and compassion that are intrinsic to your being. In this moment of being, you do not need to do anything. You do not need to change your circumstances, your job, your relationships, or your environment. You simply need to stop, to be present, and to allow the truth of who you are to reveal itself. In this space, you will find that you are already whole, already at peace, and always have been. There is nothing to add, nothing to achieve. The peace you seek is not something that will come to you later, but something that is always available to you in the present moment. By letting go of the need to seek, you align yourself with the deepest truth of your being, which is peace itself. So take a moment to pause and breathe. Feel the stillness within you, the quiet presence that has always been there, waiting to be acknowledged. Know that you are not separate from this peace. You are love. You are compassion. You are the very embodiment of all that you seek. And when you stop searching for peace in external things, when you stop chasing after the next goal or achievement, you will find that it has always been right here within you. Peace is not something you need to earn or acquire. It is a state of being that is already yours. You simply need to recognize it and allow it to flow freely in your life. When you stop seeking peace outside of yourself, a profound shift occurs. You come to realize that peace is not something you need to search for or attain. It is not a distant goal or a prize that can be won through effort or external circumstances. The truth is, the peace you seek is not something that can be found in the world around you. It is not hidden in any particular experience, event, or relationship. Instead, peace is your natural state of being, always present within you, waiting to be recognized. This peace exists beyond the fluctuations of the mind, beyond the endless stream of thoughts, judgments, and desires that the mind continuously generates. It is not bound by time or circumstance. It is not something you need to achieve it is the silent space behind the noise of daily life, the stillness that underlies the ceaseless activity of the mind. This peace is not something you need to go out. It is always present, even in moments of chaos or difficulty, but it is often overshadowed by the distractions of the mind. When you stop trying to change anything, when you stop trying to fix or control the world around you, you open the door to this stillness. It is when you cease striving for something more, when you stop chasing after external validation or success, that you can fully rest in the silence of your own being. And it is in this silence, in this peaceful stillness, that you will realize a profound truth. You are already whole. You are already complete. You do not need to attain anything to become who you truly are. Everything you need, everything you have been searching for, is already. The sense of incompleteness that many of us feel is an illusion created by the mind. We are conditioned to believe that we must constantly improve ourselves, acquire more, and become something other than what we are in order to be happy or fulfilled. But this is a false belief. The truth is that nothing external can make you complete. You are already whole, and the peace you seek is simply a recognition of this. It's not about gaining something new or transforming yourself into someone else. It is about recognizing and accepting what has always been there within you. You are not defined by your thoughts, your past, or your achievements. You are the awareness that observes them all. When you rest in the recognition of this truth, you stop identifying with the mind's stories and limitations. You stop identifying with the sense of lack or desire that drives you to search for peace. In this moment, you realize that peace is not a future event or a destination. It is the present moment, fully embraced, fully experienced. It is not something you need to work for or strive towards. It is simply a recognition of your own true nature. When you stop seeking and simply rest in the present, you are at peace. This peace is not something that comes and goes. It is the essence of who you are. You have always been this peace. And when you stop searching for it, you begin to experience it more fully, more deeply in every aspect of your life. So let go of the need to chase after peace or happiness in the world. Instead, turn inward and recognize the peace that is already present within you. It has always been there, waiting for you to acknowledge it. You are not separate from it. You are it. You are whole. You are complete. Everything you need is already within you. This is the truth, and it is not something that needs to be earned or acquired. It simply needs to be recognized. This recognition, however, does not happen overnight. It is a process of unraveling the layers of conditioning, of belief systems, and of false identities that you have accumulated over time. The mind has created a complex web of thoughts and ideas that define who you think you are, and it is these very thoughts that prevent you from seeing the truth, to experience the freedom that comes from recognizing your true self. You must be willing to release these false identities, to step beyond the mind's games, and to embrace the silence of the present moment. In this silence, there is no judgment, no fear, no desire. There is simply being. And this being is not separate from anything else. It is the same being that resides in all living, the person you perceive to be separate from you, the world around you, the very universe itself. All are expressions of the same source. When you stop identifying with the individual self, when you stop seeing yourself as separate from everything else, you begin to experience a sense of interconnectedness that transcends all dualities. You realize that there is no you and me. There is only one being, one consciousness experiencing itself in countless forms. This is the essence of love, the essence of compassion. When you realize your oneness with all beings, you begin to live in harmony with the world around you. Love and compassion naturally arise from the understanding that we are not separate, that we are all expressions of the same source. True love is not based on attachment or desire. It is simply the recognition of the divine in all things, the acknowledgement that we are all part of the same cosmic dance. When you live from this place of understanding, you no longer need to seek validation from others. You no longer need to prove your worth. You simply are, and in this being you find peace. It is important to note that this journey is not one that can be rushed. It is a gradual unfolding, a process of becoming more aware of the thoughts and beliefs that have shaped your perception of reality. It is a process of learning to observe the mind without getting caught in its stories. The more you observe, the more you can distinguish between the truth of your being and the illusions created by the mind. The more you let go of the need to control, to change, to do, the more you will begin to experience the truth of who you are. When you begin to live from this place of awareness, you will find that your actions in the world become more aligned with your true self. You will no longer be driven by the need to achieve or to acquire. You will act from a place of love, compassion, and understanding. Your actions will no longer be motivated by fear or desire, but by a deep inner peace that arises from knowing that you are already complete. As you continue on this journey of self-discovery, remember that you are not alone. We are all in this together, walking the same path of truth, seeking the same. Each one of us is a reflection of the divine. And as we awaken to this truth, we not only find peace for ourselves, but also contribute to the awakening of others. It is through our shared experience that we find true connection, true love, and true freedom. So I invite you to pause for a moment and reflect on your own journey. Where have you been seeking peace? What beliefs and attachments have you been holding on to? Are you ready to let go of the illusions created by the mind and to... The truth is simple. You are love. You are peace. You are free. And when you realize this, you will find that everything you have been seeking is already within you. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to take the next step in your journey by leaving a comment below with 99 and subscribing to the Path of Truth channel. Let us continue this journey together in love. Share this video with others so they too can experience the power of self-discovery and the freedom that comes with it. Thank you for being here, for being present, and for walking this path with me. Take care, and I will see you soon.